Well, we have once again been interrupted by more news in the middle of one of our streams, so I cut it a little bit short. So here we go. We are talking about a new update for GBO2 as of late February. And immediately right out of the bat, we have Colony Drop Area, another ground map. Which actually, man, that really does mean that space has been going through it. Like, we haven't gotten a new space map in a hot minute. That's really brutal. But this is another really big, like, if you thought Thunderdome in City Ruins was huge, good luck, because this is massive. It's pretty much a giant Thunderdome. Remnants of a colony, as it says, of course. The interesting thing here, and I don't know if this is something that we've seen before and I just don't remember, but we actually get to see the drop points, the initial drop points for the enemies and allies, it seems like here. Both of their base camps are actually pretty far outside the actual Thunderdome itself. And it looks like we have 4 cap points, CD, and MBA over here, nothing in center, which kind of makes me wonder how big this is overall for this midpoint. A lot of little like ramps and underbit parts and whatnot. Totally gonna be hitting most of your shots on a bunch of debris. It actually seems like they're mixing in a good couple things. We got some sniping points here. Sniping point outside of the colony. Okay, so hold on, let me try to get a good bead. I'm assuming these rocks here near 6 and 3 and some of this up here, it looks like those are what they're talking about. Which of course means there's gonna be, as you can see here, some more open spots to see into mid a little bit more. We're definitely gonna be seeing a fair amount of, like they're showing here, Sniper 2s, Zuda Fs. I'm assuming that this is mostly gonna be a raid kind of group, because once you get into mid, all bets are off, especially if you get into these little nooks and crannies right here. So we'll see how that goes. And then we move on to clarifying the relationship of rank and rating. So this is a little bit weird. Rank in general has just kind of been level. Certain ranks require you to get to a certain rating as part of their rank missions. But outside of that, they haven't really correlated with each other. There are a lot of people, especially when we talk about people who tend to do a lot of alts and stuff, that have really low ranking, but really high rating because they just kind of grind it out and blow through a bunch of people in their first couple of matches or whatever. So let's check this out. Situation. In GBO2, missions for promoting to a lieutenant require several conditions of player skills, such as rating B- or above, and make sure that all lieutenants are having a skill of B- or above. We confirm this case by receiving reports of obtaining various data which directing to a fact that some lieutenants are actually performing better than a usual D- rank, meaning that some of the players are not exactly reaching the rank with the skill in their rating. It is supposed that losing a battle will take a rating descent. Still, those players have reached to rating B- at a point where they intend to lose a battle after battle to get a lower rank because of the rating descension system, so we had decided to list the problems. Basically, GBO2 will match the team and players up depends on their rating, which makes the situation of some rating B- pilots are treated as D- pilots and causing the unfair battles. That's interesting because, like, obviously part of this is them talking about, well, we don't want people to grind down in order to go to a lower rating and then beat the shit out of people at those lower ratings as a higher rating pilot. But there are some times when, if you're on a really bad losing streak, suddenly you'll notice that you're being matched up against people who are a lot lower than you, despite how much you've actually lost rating wise. So I don't know if that's something that they're trying to describe here. I don't think so. I think it's just mostly talking about the whole like grinding down rating or whatever. So here we go. In terms of response, based on the fact that those players have a related skill level to rank, we are adjusting the mechanism in the update planned on the 22nd. So, to all pilots, once player reaches the rank, their rating will no longer be able to drop below a specific number. So these, I guess, are correlating to the actual ranks that we're getting, where they actually require you to be a certain one. So Colonel, oh wow, so that's interesting. So Colonel is ground, but they're also, this is kind of funny but a little bit sad, because you know what this means is that they're specifically doing a lower cutoff rate for space because they know people don't play space as much and that the overall rating in space is much lower. Like, it's nice that they recognize it, but that's also a little messed up. So for Colonel, you're talking about B, lieutenant currently when we're talking about B. Those are the highest ones, and then of course captain and lieutenant themselves are C plus. And of course from here it goes to C plus as the maximum and then C minus as the minimum. So pilots whose rating is lower than the indicator mentioned in one next update will be forcibly applied to rating change, which is detailed below. Only rating match available in the counter. In order to identify the arranged pilot's rating, the rating match ground or space will be required. After the match, pilots will settle to a designated rating and be able to join all kinds of game modes. Those never have a match in space pilots will need to play one rating match space game, including all experience of the ground in those players. We are expecting that they will still have C-, although they are having their first space match. We completely understand that this will cause pilots inconvenience because they will only play ground or in space, who will need to have an unfamiliar match. We will distribute... So they're like, oh, well, to figure out your rating and to be able to play everywhere, you gotta play at least one of the thing you hate the most. So tough shit. But here's a little bit of candy. You can have 300,000 DP. So be good. So they don't give us apology tokens, but they give us apology DP. Like, oh, okay. But so that's gonna be interesting. Obviously, it's gonna lock people out of trying to fluctuate their rating up or down, which is kind of goofy. But also, let's be honest, like the only people who are really gonna worry about this are either people who tank really bad or who just like try to manipulate it in negative ways. Because if you're really that concerned about, because I can already hear it. People are gonna be like, oh, but I wanna try to go down to play with my friends on this account. Tough shit. Make like your 1000th alt. Don't act like you also don't do that shit too. It's not that hard. Everyone's got a billion of them. Just suck it up. Just suck it up. Get over it. So, we're gonna move on then to the Superior Gundam, or the S Gundam, is being rolled out. This is one that I didn't really think was gonna happen just because of how excessive the EXS is. And like, this would just be a scaled down version of that. And like, what would they really do with it? But thankfully, what we were speculating has come true. So we're talking about the S Gundam approaching as a 600 cost raid unit. So they went raid on this. We already have one of the enhanced parts, the EXS in GBO2, and this is the original mobile suit of it. It may be a little bad performance than EXS, but it's still agile, good shooting, and melee ability as an almighty mobile suit. So, we'll check out the video while we're talking about this, because I kind of had to run it on mute. But original source is Gundam Sentinel, 4th generation mobile suit, yada yada, featured in highly accurate beam smart gun, beam saber, and head Vulcan. Equipped with the Alice. Okay, so it still has the Alice system, of course, and can be applied on both ground and space. So we'll see how its stats actually pan out. Someone actually pointed out that apparently, well, the EXS being this kind of like mobile, like shooty, so like pseudo support kind of suit, of course, means that it's gonna be a little bit flimsier in terms of the melee defense. But this is kind of neat. I'm glad that they're actually doing some of these extra like versions or more original versions of the more decked out suits that they've thrown out there. And it kind of makes me wonder if we'll even get things kind of like the regular 7th or maybe some other alternatives. I mean, Christ, we still have a full armor GBO1 kicking around that they could throw out in there too if they want. So Gundam, in terms of Universal Century, and even just with the eras that we've been through right now, still plenty of wiggle room, a bunch of shit that they could throw out at any given time. So all this is going to be coming out on the 22nd. Get ready to see it during this update. Because of the new map, also keep in mind that you're going to have to try to update your game a little bit ahead of time. Just have it ready. Don't apply it if you don't have to, so that you don't mismatch with the servers and get kicked out until the actual thing flips over. And hopefully we'll have some more fun on the new map when it actually drops. It looks neat. I'm a little bit, as much as I don't like space, I am a little sad for most of the people who do like it, because they've kind of been left in a lurch in terms of new maps and stuff. So I don't know, hopefully that'll be coming up next. Hopefully we don't see too much guff or bitching about the rank and rating thing, because honestly it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. And we'll see if we can actually get the Sentinel. In terms of our accounts, we've kind of been lagging in terms of having new suits to mess with, so I'd like to actually get one of these and mess around with it. So that is the current update for late February of 2023, and this is Goose on the 13th. I'll talk to you all next time.